Hello, you awesome YouTube subscribers. My name is WarWagingBot, and welcome to my first video on Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, this is going to be kind of a special one. I mean, special for the first video of a game. You know, doesn't seem quite right, but still, I'm going to do it. This is going to be showing you guys the way I make money in GTA 5. Now, it doesn't add up to, you know, a hell of a lot, but it does get me some money whenever I need it to. And basically what I do, I put 16 stunt races into a playlist, and I play every single one of them. And the way I make the money is I make sure that each race goes for about 8 minutes. So if you make each race go for about 8 minutes, you can get the maximum amount of money you get out of each race, which is about $8,408 if I remember correctly. So in this case, this race right here that I'm about to start is long enough that I can just, you know, do 2 laps on it, and that'll get me about 8 minutes. I may have to stop and wait for a little bit, but you need to make sure that the timer goes over 8 minutes in order for this to work. So, but yeah. Setting it to close because I don't want anybody else to join me, and I have got the music for this game turned off because a lot of the music in this game is copyrighted, so I can't play any of it without getting copyright striked. Okay, so I'm gonna go with my free mode outfit. I don't want a helmet on. I want my custom baddie because it's got almost every upgrade on it. The only upgrades I don't have on my cars at this point are the turbo upgrades, the turbo tuning upgrades, because I need to complete about 30 or so more races or reach rank 100 to do them. So normally I would listen to Spotify doing this because I don't really like the in-game radio too much, but still. And another thing, if you're doing these races with bikes and you get really long straightaways, pull wheelies as often as you can. You get RP for doing them. You're going to see me doing stunts on these races as much as I can. Mainly because you can get extra RP for it and it helps you rank up faster. You know, every little bit helps. So, even right here, I'm going to be doing one. I'm going to be skipping these boosts to go with wheelies and everything. Oh shit, don't want to fall off the edge. Because I'm not worried about, you know, hitting the boost and going really fast and trying to take the lead since I'm not competing with anybody, I'm just doing this race solo, so I don't have to worry about that. And the reason I keep hitting the brakes on that slope is because I want to be able to actually pop a wheelie on there. Some of the times for these races, like pretty much all the times, I think somebody, you know, hacked it and managed to get really fast times for it, because 1 minute and 3 seconds, there's no way you could do this race that fast. Even if it was just 1 lap, there's still no way you could do this race that fast. But yeah, the way I'm doing it, I'm making sure each race, it takes me 8 minutes to do each race, because that will, you know, that will allow me to get about 8 grand out of each race. Now, the amount of RP you get out of this race varies, not just on how many stunts you do, but on what rank you currently are. In this case, I'm rank 93, so I think I'll get about 1,710 RP for each race. When I rank up, probably it might be the same, or it might be about 10 RP more. I think they give you a little bit more RP from each job every time you rank up, so it won't be as hard for you to rank up the next time. You know, I think like every little bit helps, I guess. So, and like I said, normally I would listen to Spotify doing this, but can't do that because it's copyrighted, because the music I got on there is copyrighted. And besides, you can't play music in the background while you're doing a broadcast on your PS4. It just won't let you, so even if I could do it, I still wouldn't. Just because of all the copyrighted music I have on my Spotify playlist. So, now I'm going to do a stunt at every big ramp I can, because it gives me a little bit of extra RP, and even though it may not seem like it, that RP can go a long way in the end. So, And I'm going to show you how many laps you need to do each race for in order to get the maximum, in order to, you know, make sure that you're not going to be just sitting there for like 6 or 7 minutes waiting for the race to be, waiting for the 8-minute mark. Okay, I went a little over that checkpoint, but you know what, that's okay. If I were competing with anybody, I would worry about that, but because I'm not competing with anybody, I'm not worried about it. So... there was a small point in time when these races were actually double money in RP, and you can get about 16 grand out of each race. And I did hit this playlist a lot when that was going on, because I knew I could get a lot of money and everything really fast. But they're not double money in RP anymore; they're just standard. So. And another thing is that wheelies do actually help you go faster. I know that's kind of like a no-brainer for most people at this point, but still, for those of you who don't know, wheelies do actually make you go faster on a bike, if you can pull one off. Some bikes don't let you pull off the wheelies. Hey, Shockwave Digger. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not competing with anybody. This is just me showing you how I make money in this game. For me, this is not a boring way to do it. It's actually kind of fun to do it, especially when I have music. And, you say, it's not, you can make a decent amount of money doing this. Of course, it'll take a while, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm doing fine. Let's say, just got back from the swimming pool, so... And the reason you don't see me toggling the stunt cam on any of these, you know, jumps or anything is because if you toggle the stunt cam and try to pull the stunt off, like try to pull a front flip or back flip or anything like that, the game won't let you. The game won't give you the RP for it. It'll let you pull it off, it just won't give you the RP for it as a result. So, okay. 7 minutes, 11 seconds. So I'm gonna have to sit here and wait a second, because we want to get that timer up to 8 minutes. So, and the reason we want to get it up to 8 minutes, like I said, is because you can get the maximum amount of money from the race that way. So, we want to sit here and wait for a little bit. Yeah, that's because I've been, you know, with all the new updates and everything, I've been trying to gain money and everything to, you know, to gain money to get some access to some of the new features and everything, but I haven't really been able to. I don't have any money to buy shark cards with, and, you know, this is really the only way I can actually make money efficiently. There is a mission that I can do over and over again, but it gets boring doing the same thing over and over again, you know? Okay, here we go. Past the 8-minute mark, so I can go ahead and finish this race. Now see, now look how much money I get, guys. So, 8 minutes, get about $8,408. And I ranked up, nice. And about 1,710 RP from that one race. It's probably going to be a bit more now that I've ranked up, so. But yeah. On another thing, like, I don't know if anybody would be willing to, but if anybody would be willing to, like, buy me a Megalodon shark card and send me the code for it and everything, I would be very grateful for that, because I really don't have very much money in GTA right now. I only got about 26 grand. Because any bit of money I get, I have to put towards ammo or upgrading my cars or something like that, you know? Okay. So this one is another motorcycle race. You gotta set this one for 3 laps because of how short it is. So, the next one's gonna be even shorter though, and you gotta set that one for 4 laps. Okay, so we wanna play this alone. And so you guys know, adding people to the race doesn't actually make it where you get more money when you know, complete it. If you finish first, you still get the same amount of money. You still get pretty much the same amount of money, maybe less if you complete it in, you know, if you complete it fast enough. If you complete it in under 8 minutes, you won't get 8 grand. You'll get less than that, even if there are other people playing. It doesn't give you as much. So, trust me, I tested it out. It doesn't work. So. Alright, so, okay, now that we've got that all set up, what do you guys think about how my character looks? Let me know down in the comments section. That is if you're viewing this after I've live streamed it. Otherwise, if you're watching it right now, you know, let me know what you think of it. Think of it in the chat. Now for this part, you don't want to do a backflip on this part. You'll go way out over the edge of the track. You do not want to do a backflip there. You want to do a front flip if you're going to do any kind of stunt. I figured that out a long time ago. I figured that out the hard way. I did a backflip. I went way out over the edge of the track and couldn't control myself. I couldn't control it, so. Alright, so. Like I said, we're going to be going to 8 minutes on every single race pretty much, so. Oh, whoops. I kind of deviated there. And on a motorcycle, if you have the chance to do like a double backflip or anything, don't bother. It'll only count it as if you, oh crap. Well, that was supposed to be a complete front flip, but for some reason the game, I can usually do a full front flip on that one, but the game didn't let me. Nah, I can't do it now. I don't have enough speed. You can usually do like a full front flip and, you know, get your wheels down so it'll actually count it, but that time it didn't want to, I guess. Now this next jump right here, you can do a backflip, but you gotta do it right. What you gotta do, kind of like right here, like right as you get to the boost, let off the gas and just let the boost carry you. And then do the backflip right here. Let off the gas right before you get to the boost, and then let the boost carry you up it so you can do the backflip that way. And in this part, don't try and ride up on the sides of the tubes. I tried that before, you'll just fall off your bike. Alright, so do not attempt that. Just keep turning with the tubes. Now, I'm going to demonstrate, like on this next part here, I can do, I think, 2 backflips. I get 50 RP for 1 backflip. See? Gives me the same amount. Give me the same amount as if I just completed 1 backflip. So, doing a double backflip doesn't do anything. Alright, so. Alright, now like I said on this part, do a front flip, not a back flip, because you'll go way up past the track if you do a back flip. Doesn't matter what bike you have, you'll go way up past it. So, okay. I figured out that the speed boosts on this one aren't extremely powerful. The more powerful ones, like on the previous one, the more powerful boosts, or the speed boost, because you can like set how powerful the speed boosts and stuff are. You can set how powerful they are, like how much they'll boost you and everything. The ones on the last one were a lot more powerful. These ones aren't as powerful, you know. Ah, dang it! I don't understand why I can't do the front flip there. I'm usually able to, but for some reason I can't do it now. It's just not letting me. God. And I don't know why. Hopefully I can do it on the third lap to prove it to you guys, because it's just not letting me for some reason. It's refusing to let me do the front flip there, and I don't know why. I can usually do it, but... Alright, anyways. Oh crap. Whoa, okay. I was not expecting that, but... Aw, man. It didn't even give me the RP for that. Are you kidding me? I still did the stunt, and I still did the stunt. It didn't give me the RP for it, though. It didn't count it. Probably because I hit the frickin' ground before I bounced up and did the flip. So I thought I landed and didn't count it. Count it. I'm doing a front flip there because then I can kind of pull off a wheelie right here. And I would recommend using the motorcycle I've got for these motorcycle races because it's easier to pop wheelies on it and everything, so. The thing is, I had another bike that I used to do these races with, but I couldn't pop wheelies with it, so, you know. Oh, crap. I tried to steer and it didn't want to. I tried to make it steer and it didn't want to for some reason. Okay. That's what I'm talking about by sometimes the speed boosts are powerful enough, or are too powerful. Sometimes they'll just launch you straight into the air. Okay, that works. I landed the last jump. I landed that last time, but I was going too fast and couldn't steer in time. So... Am I? Okay, now hopefully I can do the front flip this time. Come on, let me do it, let me do it, let me do it. Dang it! It still didn't let me. I don't get it. Why can I not do it anymore? I don't understand. Third lap, I still couldn't do it. I can usually do the front flip there. Why couldn't I do it that time? I can't do a back flip because it takes me past the checkpoint. And then I smack into the wall and lose it anyways. Is it because I recently upgraded my bike? It might be because I recently upgraded the engine power of my bike, so... Yeah, when you're doing the backflip in this tunnel here, you kind of like skim your head along the ground, but if you just keep holding back on the stick, then, you know, you'll be able to complete it. just don't let go of the stick halfway through the flip, because then you'll hit the ground and, you know, biff it, so to speak. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get to 8 minutes. See that? See the time down there? Definitely gonna be past 8 minutes by the time I get to the finish line. Yeah, sure, I can subscribe to him, no problem, dude. And also, be sure to, if you're gonna do the same thing I did, which is put like the first 16 jobs into a playlist kind of thing, and then play them, make sure you rate each one of them, because that way, you know, you get a little bit of extra RP for each one you do. Okay, now this one, you gotta set this one to 4 laps because of how short it is, if you want to kind of make 8 minutes, you know. So, okay, so before we start, I want to subscribe to that guy that he said, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Bingo. Done. Just subscribe to that dude. So, alright, so, here we go. Now that we've subscribed to that dude, let's go ahead and start this race. Okay, play. Yes, I want to launch this job on my own. Okay, I don't want a helmet. The helmet makes me look ridiculous. Makes my character look ridiculous, at least. In case you guys can't tell, yes, I am a guy, but I have a female character in GTA. Don't judge, okay? I just like female characters. Okay, now, there's only about 2 spots you can do stunts, and that's right here, at this first ramp here. You can do a backflip, typically. Well, I mean, like, you know, ramp stunts at least. You can do a wheelie there if you really want to, but like I just tried, but typically I don't do it that much because I usually wind up crashing, so. Okay, now, and this is the second spot you can do a jump. But if you're doing a baddie 801 like me, do a front flip, not a back flip, because it'll take you past the checkpoint otherwise. Oh, and be sure to hit that soccer ball. That'll give you an extra 20 RP. It didn't show it on screen, but it gives you an extra 20 RP for hitting it. So, you know, and you know, every little bit helps. There's one race coming up later on in there where we'll have a bunch of bowling pins that we can knock over. You get 20 RP for each one you knock over, and I'll show you guys that when we get to it. It's not till really late on, though. So the first 3 races, as you guys can see, are motorcycle races, but not all of them are going to be motorcycle races. Some of them are going... This next one, for example, is going to be a sports car race. And then the one after that is going to be another motorcycle race, and then after that a supercar race, supercar, and you know, it just goes from there. There is one muscle car race mixed in among all these, but there's only one. So and also, if you manage to do a clean lap, which means, you know, you go for the entire lap without having to reset your character, respawn basically, then and you get an RP bonus for it. But I think you can only do like one clean lap per race, you know. I think it only counts it once, but still. You go the entire lap without having to reset at your character one time, then yeah, you get an RP bonus for it. Maybe a cash bonus too, I'm not sure, but I know you get an RP bonus. And then here, like I said, do a front flip. And that soccer ball that I hit earlier is gone. Oh boy. A little tip about, you know, racing. Some people like to just hammer on the throttle all the way through the race. And sometimes that'll work for you, but other times it won't. You gotta know you gotta know some things, like handbrake. Probably not the best idea to use the handbrake really at all throughout the race if you're trying to win, you know. It's best to just use the regular brake. The regular brake slows you down so that you can go around corners and stuff a lot easier without losing control. Because it's all about maintaining control over your vehicle. Even the fastest guys and everything, you know, yeah, kind of like there. Of course, this part, it's a bit more difficult because you got these stop signs that move back and forth and get in your way. But yeah, but like, it's all about maintaining control of your vehicle. If you can maintain control throughout the entire race, you're much more likely to win. Now, I can't say you're guaranteed to win, because if I said that, I would be lying. But you are much more likely to, if you can maintain control of your vehicle. Some people I know try and, like, you know, be show-offs and drift around corners and stuff. Don't do that. That just slows you down. So, and then when you come to, like, you know, if you're, like, in the lead and you try and pull something stupid like that, you just go from first to last just that fast. And then, especially if you're right near the finish line, it's stupid to pull something like that. And I've seen some people do it in, you know, fail videos where they try and pull off some kind of showboat move, and then as a result, they lose the race because they go from first to last place because of that stupid stunt they tried to pull. So don't try and, you know, be a show-off or anything like that. Oftentimes you'll just wind up, you know, going from first to last place or something like that. So me, I know how to maintain control of my vehicle. I know when to use the brake and when not to. Sometimes it's better to use the brake, other times it's just better to let off the gas for a second. In case you're wondering why I'm not really popping any wheelies to go faster, it's because A, I'm trying to build up some time so I can get to 8 minutes, and B, because there's not really enough, you know, there's not really enough straightaways here, enough clear straightaways that I can do that, you know. There are straightaways, but not ones long enough that I can pop a wheelie to speed up, really. Because the second I actually start the wheelie, I have to end it so I can get ready to turn. Because you can't turn while you're in the middle of a wheelie. You have to stop doing the wheelie to turn, so I don't want to do that. Okay, what lap are we on? 3 or 4. We've got one more lap to do on this race. Now you guys know why I said to do 4 laps on this race. We're only at 5 minutes and 59 seconds. And I bet you were still going to have to wait. I bet you were going to have to still, you know, wait a little bit at the end of this because of how fast we're going through the race. We're still probably going to have to wait a little bit to do it. Of course, that last race we did, we had several setbacks and everything that were keeping us from doing it, but they kind of helped because they allow us to reach the 8-minute mark without reaching the finish line first. So, alright, so this The last lap. Now I probably could do a double backflip right there if I wanted to, but like I said, you don't get any more RP from doing a double backflip than you do from doing a single backflip. It just doesn't work. But I will show you guys later on some races that you can get a lot of RP from just by doing certain things. Like this next race, for example. There's one part you can get a lot of RP from. Let's see, and it's actually right close to the finish too. Whoa, okay. Don't go off the edge into the water. Okay. I honestly thought it was going to be kind of boring because I wouldn't be able to listen to my music, but you know what? No, it's not proving boring because I get to talk to you guys. Even if you're not currently watching this, which it doesn't look like anybody is, but, you know, people will be watching this later, so, hey, I may as well explain it now. Alright, but yeah. So, this stream has been going on for about 30 minutes, for about 31 minutes now. Yep, see? Gonna have to wait a few seconds. Gonna have to wait about 10 seconds here. Bingo. Even if it's just a slight bit over 8 minutes, it'll still work. Like 8 minutes, 1 second. See? Still got the 8 grand. Oh yeah, see? Now I got 1,720 RP. See? It does go up a little bit every time you rank up. The amount of RP you get from a job goes up a little bit every time you rank up. So, I guess to help you, you know, to help you rank up faster and everything. And like I said, be sure to rate the job afterwards. Even if you didn't really like it, just still give it a rating. Because if you give it a rating, you know, you get that little bit of extra RP. And like I said, every little bit helps. Okay, now this race is a point-to-point race for supercar. Or not supercars, but sports cars. Now the car I'm going to be using, I'm not sure what you guys will think of this, but I think my car is pretty cool. And it's upgraded as much as I can possibly get it. So, but basically, okay, so we want to do that. Play. There's no real settings I can change on it because it's not a lap race, so no reason to change it. Now, this is the car I'm going to be using. Now, I have a few others, like, you know, I have this. Oh, well, I only have 2 sports cars. This one and this one. This one is not upgraded, though, and I like this one better anyways. So, confirm and continue. Ready to play. And another little tip that you may not have, that some people may not realize, most people probably have figured it out by now, but if you hit the gas right when it says go, like this, you get a speed boost at the start to help you pull ahead. And I've kind of, you know, mastered the timing of that. I'm not gonna say I'm the best at it, obviously, but I have gotten it I've gotten it down pretty good. So now this race is gonna feature a lot of loops and stuff, but it's also gonna feature some pretty good jumps. And there's one really big jump right towards the end. Like, see this race? You go down here a long ways. Now, a little tip: you can do barrel rolls, but if you hold the handbrake button instead of doing barrel rolls, you'll do flat spins, and you can get more RP for flat spins than you can for barrel rolls. Of course, the max you can get for flat spins is 200 RP, and that's if you complete 3 of them. But still, sometimes that's better than what you can get for a barrel roll, because a barrel roll only awards you about 25 RP for each time you do it. For each barrel roll you do, you get about 25 RP, so you get less. So I could do about 3 barrel rolls there, which means I'd only get about 75 RP, and I was able to do 3 flat spins there, which gave me 200 RP. So that's about 125 more RP for that. And plus, flat spins are less dangerous because you know you're going to land on your wheels when you're doing them, see? Like here, I can do as many of them as I want. Don't have to worry about landing on my roof or blowing up or anything like that because I know I'm going to land on my wheels. So, and I got another 200 RP for that, and I could only do about 2 barrel rolls there, but I did 3 flat spins, or probably like 2.5, but still, gave me the 200 RP, so. Now this one I might be only able to do like 2. That'll still give me 100 RP though, so that's kind of worth it. See? 2 complete eat flat spins. Still got 100 RP for it. Now, if I was, competing, I might worry about, having to turn around and everything, but I'm not competing. So, whoa, okay, that's not what I was expecting. That is not at all what I was expecting. That never happens to me, and I don't know why it happened there. Probably because I kind of did a spin as I came off. Okay, do it after I come off the ramp, so that way I'm not... There we go. And if you do like, I think 1 3/4 or something like that, you get 75 RP, but that's still a good amount, So, and here's another loop. You go up, around, turn off my headlights, don't know why they're on. And then you come down here to another really big jump, or more like really long jump. And then you can do a flat spin here. 200 RP for that. I could have done 4 barrel rolls there, but that would have only given me 100 RP total. The flat spins gave me 200 RP, so you got to do the math here. You see my RP going up? I would show you how much cash I have, but unfortunately it doesn't show you it during the race. So, but yeah, I'm pretty close to rank 100. Pretty close to unlocking the RPG and the engine up, or the tuning upgrade for my cars. And if you manage to do all the races right, you get about 8 grand for every single race. I think you'll get about $134,000 out of it, because there's 16 races in this. You do a total of 16 races, but you have to make sure you spend 8 minutes on each and every one of them. Even these point-to-point races, where sometimes you can finish them in under 3 minutes. In this case, you can't finish this one in under 3 minutes, but there are some you can finish in under 3 minutes, I know. So, but I'll show you how to, make 8 minutes on those. At least the ones that I show on here anyways. Oh, whoops. I keep thinking that's a jump. That's the 3rd time I've done that. That's the 3rd time I've played this race, and I've tried to do it on that, on that section. But yeah. And then this is the jump right before the finish line, right here. So basically, what you want to do on this part is you want to come around, like so, go ahead, head down the ramp, obviously, jump, do the flat spins and everything, like I showed you, but hold the handbrake button down when you land, and keep holding it down. And then, don't head for the finish line, but instead, respawn. You can milk this jump for a lot of RP, so, just say, all you have to do is keep doing flat spins, and you'll get a good amount of RP from this. And sometimes you can get RP for doing a backflip right there, because the game will glitch out and give it to you for that. So, hold RP, I'm going to say hold the handbrake button down to make sure you don't accidentally cross the finish line. And then just keep doing it until you reach the 8-minute mark. Either that or until it stops giving you RP. Because there is a maximum amount of RP it will give you from doing the race. Once you reach that amount, then it won't give you any more, so. But don't toggle that stunt cam like it says is. It'll like tell you, hey, you can toggle the stunt cam, but no. That was close. I think the game tried to kind of figured out what I was doing and tried to force me to finish the race, and I didn't want to. Thank goodness I didn't finish the race. I would have been pissed if the game made me go through the finish line. I did not want to finish the race just yet. Now, if I was competing, obviously I'd want to be there first, but I'm not competing. Like I said, nobody else is doing this with me. I'm doing it by myself. So, say. In this case, I'm playing on PS4, so, I got the PS4 controls, which means that R1 is the handbrake button for me. Like, see right there? It thinks I did a backflip when I actually didn't. I was just going around the loop, but the game didn't know that. It glitched out and thought I did a backflip there when I didn't. So it gave me an extra 25 RP for that. Either that or it thought I was probably doing a wheelie. I think it would have given me 50 RP if it thought I was doing a backflip, but it gave me 25, so I think it might have thought I was doing like a wheelie or something. But anyways, see, it just did it again. You see that? I don't know why it's doing that, but it does it sometimes. And sometimes if you can hold R1 as you're coming off the ramp, like, you know, right before you come off the ramp, if you press R1 and move your stick in the direction you want to do the spin, in my case left, because for some reason if I try and do it to the right, it doesn't want to work for me. Okay, that time it didn't give me the RP, but for some reason if I hold my left stick to the right as I'm coming off, it doesn't want to let me spin that way for some reason. It'll make me spin really slowly compared to the left. Okay, so 7 minutes, 50 seconds. So, at the end of this next one, we'll see if it gives me any RP. It might not give me any RP for all I know, but if it doesn't, then if it does, whether it does or doesn't, I'm going to cross the finish line either way. Okay, it gave me RP there, but this time I do want to cross the finish line, because now I'm over 8 minutes. So you could sit there and keep milking that jump up on that race until you get to the 8-minute mark and keep getting RP from it. I mean, granted, it's probably not going to be a whole lot, but if you're a low-ranked player, this can really help you rank up. So, and if you guys want, I could probably show you another race later on, you know. If you guys want, I could show you another race later on that you can, that's not really good for money, but it's good for a lot of RP. It's really good. And plus, the good part about it is that you get to use the Rocket Voltic, which is like a special kind of supercar that has a rocket boost. That is, if you haven't already heard of it. I think you need to do, yeah, I think you need to do 4 laps for this motorcycle race. So, and I think there's like, I don't know, 2 spots where you can do stunts on this. 3 if you, let's say 3 if you know, count all of them, but 3 if you count all of the spots, but you can only do 2 stunts per lap, because this way, on this race, there's actually 2 different ways you can go. So, actually, I think there's 4 places you can do stunts, but you can only use 2 of them per lap, kind of thing. So, okay, so don't want my helmet, don't want a helmet, just want this. There we go. I can see why they call this race Big M, because there's a giant M behind me. Okay, so you can do a wheelie right here at the start to A, get you up to speed faster, and B, give you some extra RP for it. And I mean, there's 2 spots where you can do airborne stunts, like right here. Let's say, well, 4 spots, but you can only use 2 of them per lap. Oh crap! What the? Why? What was that, game? What was that? What was that? I honestly have no idea what happened there. Why did it do that? It's never done that to me before. Why did it bounce me off? What? Does the game not like that I'm live streaming this or something? And so it's like trying to show me that it doesn't want me to live stream it. Well, too bad, game. Even if you don't want me to live stream it, I'm still gonna live stream it either way. Okay, now then you gotta watch out for this part. This part is littered with those moving stop signs. And then there's 2 paths you can take here. I always take the left path because it's natural to me. On these boosts, do not do a wheelie over them if you have the baddie 801, because you will lose control of your vehicle. And this is the second spot, and this is the second spot you can do a stunt per lap. There's 2 jumps right there that you can do it off of. I always take the left path because it feels more natural to me to do that, so. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I just got back from, a swimming pool, and I think a little bit of that chlorine got in my lungs. Because, swimming pools have the chlorine and everything in them, so I think my lungs had a little bit of the chlorine stuck in them from when I was swimming. But I like going swimming because it's a great form of exercise and it's fun. The thing that really gets you to exercise is having fun. If you're not having fun, you don't want to exercise. That's typically how it is. If you're not having fun, you don't want to, and while you're exercising, then you don't typically want to do it. That's what I figured out. But if you're having fun while you're exercising, you're more likely to do it. So, me, I spent 2.5 hours in the swimming pool, doing nothing but just swimming around and having fun, so. And I was with my cousins. They're a lot younger than me. I'm about 19 years old. My cousins are about 5 years old and 9 years old. The 5-year-old is a boy, the 9-year-old is a girl, so. But yeah, I just spent about 2.5 hours swimming with them. We were gonna originally spend 2 hours, but the younger cousin wanted to stay for another 30 minutes. I guess he didn't really want to leave when we told him to. Actually, no, I know he didn't want to leave when we told him to, because when I told him we had to leave and everything, and my aunt told him we had to leave because that's who I'm living with. When my aunt told him we had to leave and I told him we had to leave, he really didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay there for a while, but we weren't giving him the option to. It's like, look, you're leaving one way or another. Whether you leave willingly or whether we have to drag you out of here kicking and screaming. Either way, you're leaving. We're not giving you an option here, Because that's sometimes the way it is with little kids. Little kids think, oh, if I just be rebellious, then they'll let me do what I want. But my parents taught me at a very young age, that's not the way the world works. If I ever started being rebellious, if I ever said that if I ever demanded and I said, but I want, or something like that, my mother would grab me by my shirt, hold me real close to her face and say, what did you just say? Hey, and that would set me straight. I wouldn't ever say that for the rest of the day. Yeah, even though my mother could be, a little mean about it sometimes, she wasn't abusive. She was not abusive by any means. She didn't hit me all the time. She only hit me whenever I did something I wasn't supposed to do. So, she trained me well. I know she trained me a lot better than some parents train their kids. Well, not really train me, but raise me. She raised me a lot better than some parents raise their kids. I know of a couple kids that lived just up the road from us that were really, really, really picky eaters. The only thing they would be willing to eat is ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Those are the only things they'd be willing to eat. Anything other than that, forget it. You weren't getting them to eat. You weren't gonna get them to eat it. But with my mom taught me to just eat whatever was in front of me. She said, you either eat what's right there in front of you or you don't get anything else. So you either eat what's right there in front of you or you go hungry. You ain't getting anything else. So I always learned just to eat what was right there in front of me and deal with it. Even if it was something I really, really, really didn't like. And I know it may sound kind of mean that my mother did this, but you know what? I don't think it was mean. I think she did the right thing. I mean, yeah, it seemed mean back then, but you know what? She was just trying to raise me right. She had another kid before me who's older than me at this point, and his name was Terry. And, let's just say he was a rotten little shit. You know why? Because he would do what he wanted, when he wanted, and if you told him otherwise, he would say, go f*** yourself. And he was going to do what he wanted to do, when he wanted to do it, and there was basically nothing you could do to stop him, you know? So, my mom, because she got so fed up with him lying and sneaking out, doing stuff he wasn't supposed to, she got so fed up with it because she couldn't stop him from doing it, because he had no respect for her. She got so fed up with it, she kicked him out of her house at the age of 16. Now, this was like several years ago. Now, normally you're not allowed to kick anybody out until the age of 18, but if absolutely necessary, you can kick them out at the age of 16. And he was being extremely rebellious, so he kicked her out. So she kicked him out at the age of 16. Okay, sit here and wait. And he went to live with my grandmother for a little while. His grandmother as well, I guess. He went to live with my grandmother for a little bit, and when he did, at first she thought, he wasn't so bad and everything. She gave him a TV, she gave him a lot of stuff, but he just sat there being lazy, doing nothing all day. He wouldn't get a job, he wouldn't do anything like that. And then one day when my grandma was out doing his shopping and he was left at her house, he took the TV that she gave him, which was something that she didn't want sold, and he sold it. He sold it behind her back. And then when she got home and asked, where's the TV? He lied and said, I don't know. It's like, seriously? Seriously? Not even I would pull something like that, and I've pulled some stupid shit. I used to sneak soda behind my mom and dad's back. Got my ass whooped for it, too. I literally mean that, too. I actually got my ass whooped with a belt. And it wasn't no light spanking either. It was a hard one. It left an imprint. My dad wanted to get it through my mind that it was not okay to steal. And he did. He did it well. I never stole again after that. It was a hard lesson, but he taught it well. My mom and dad raised me a lot better than they did Terry, that's for sure. And I think Terry, to this day, he's still kind of a rotten shit, I mean, he's not as bad as he was back then, obviously. But he could be a lot better, He just freaking... He isn't as rebellious now, but still. I think he still kind of, tries to do what he wants when he wants. But now the world is kind of giving him a wake-up call and being like, hey, you may have been able to do this back then, but you can't do it now. That ain't the way the world works, son. And it's kind of become, like a real eye-opener for him. So, I think he's kind of ticked off at it, too. I don't think he likes it. But it's like, hey, that's the way the world works. If you don't like it, oh well, deal with it. If you don't like it, deal with it, because we have to deal with it every day. I'm actually going to be getting a job soon. And I know, because, it's getting to where my aunt and my grandma can't afford to feed me anymore. Now, for those of you who are wondering, no, I did not. No, my mom did not die. My mom did not do anything like that. She is still alive and well. Same with my dad. They're both alive and well. Nothing's happened to them. I'm not, I'm not being fostered by them. I chose to move out of my mom and dad's house because the living conditions there were a lot worse than the living conditions I have up here. Living conditions I had there, I didn't have my own TV. I didn't have anything like that. So here I have my own TV. I have my own game console. Have my own room. Have my own movies. Have a lot of stuff that's mine. Of course, back there it was kind of hard to maintain a clean room. Back at my mom's house, it was kind of hard to maintain a clean room. Here, it's not that hard. I don't have as much stuff here because a lot of the stuff that I had there, I never really used as much. I used to use it when I was young because I had a lot of toys and everything I liked, but now I don't really use it anymore because I'm not that young, so I don't have as many toys anymore. Or I'm not that young anymore, so I don't have a real desire to play with those toys anymore, you know? So, and I think that, I think my parents did good in raising me the way they did. Of course, I mean, they said they could have done some stuff better, and I think, you know, I kind of agree with that. They still kind of spoiled me a little more than they should have, but you know what? I still turned out to be a lot better than most kids in the end. At least I respect my parents. I mean, yeah, I would kind of yell at them and get upset at them, but then again, that's every family. Every family is going to have feuds. It doesn't matter how much they love each other or anything like that. There's still going to be some things they just don't agree over. And they're going to have, you know, fights about it and everything else. That's just life. And I've accepted that, so. Same here, like, even living here where I am, we still fight. Sometimes everybody here fights. Like, grandma and my aunt fight, me and my grandma fight, me and my aunt fight. Just, you know, we all fight with each other sometimes, but it ain't about the fights or anything. What matters is that we find a common ground in the end, and that we keep going, you know? Because if we just keep arguing every day about the same stuff, we'll never get anywhere. That no matter how much we argue, it's just not going. In the end, arguing does nothing. You gotta come to an agreement, or you're never gonna get anywhere in life. And that's one of the reasons I left my mom's house, was because my mom, my dad, and my sister were all constantly arguing with each other, and I never wanted any part of it. You know, oops, oh boy, I was not expecting that, but okay. But anyways, I would always be caught in the middle of, like, my mom, my dad, and my sister's arguments and everything like that, and I never wanted to be a part of any of them, but I would always be caught in the middle of them, and there was nothing I could do. I would try to walk away, and they would say, sit here and listen, and it's like, why would I listen to this? This doesn't involve me. And they said, yes, it does, because this could involve, like, divorce or something. I'm like, seriously? No, it does not involve me. It involves a problem you guys have with each other, not a problem I have with you. A problem you guys have with each other. That's all it is. But I would always be stuck sitting there listening to it. There were times that I was actually tempted to run away. Of course, I never actually did, obviously. I never actually ran away. Hey, that's just not who I am. I'm not the kind of guy to run away, hey, from something like that. I don't run away from my family. I mean, yes, I will walk away from a situation if it gets too bad. Because, you know, I don't want to fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter, I guess. Just say, I never like to fight with other people about anything. Unless, of course, it's in a video game. But, you know, in real life, I hate fighting with people. I hate doing it. But sometimes it's just so frustrating when I'm trying to point something out and point out, no, this can't work, or yes, it can work, or something like that, and they just won't listen. People just won't listen, you know? Some people are so stubborn, they gotta have it their way. It's like their way or the highway, you know? Any other way than their way, and they don't agree. Of course, my mom was like that sometimes, but other times, you know, she would listen to me. She sometimes realized that, no, this can't. She would sometimes realize that my ideas aren't so bad after all, you know? I don't have such bad ideas, so. Sorry if it seems like I'm kind of, you know, ranting on about this, guys, but you know, it kind of feels nice to talk about this, even if, you know, even if I'm not actually talking to a live human and everything like that. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. I mean, even if I'm not, like, physically talking to you in person, it still feels good to talk about it. Because it kind of, sometimes it feels like a burden and everything pushing down on me and just keeping me from doing what I really like to do. So, and honestly, like, and honestly, I think that, you know, some families think, oh, some families, you know, think that no family fights. No, that's not true. Every family fights. It's just a matter of what they fight about. In this case, my family fought about animals, property, stuff like that. Fought about all this different stuff. And my sister especially was really good about starting arguments with my mom. My mom would always find some reason, some small reason or something, even if there was no real reason for the argument, even if there was no reason behind it, my sister would find some, even if there wasn't really a reason at all to start an argument, my sister would find a reason. She would try and do something to start an argument with my mom because she didn't want to do something or whatever, and she would find some way to try and, you know, get out of what my mom wanted her to do or something like that. And it was really annoying because my mom and my sister would constantly be fighting, and I didn't want to, but I couldn't be like the mediator between them, you know. I couldn't do it. It never really worked. It never worked for me, so yeah. Of course, there were times I could act as the mediator, but I prefer not to get involved in those kinds of things, you know? It's just not who I am. But then, you know, like, there was this one time, this is just like, you know, an example. My sister does not take care of her animals. She expects everyone else to do it for her, and I'm just going to list an example here. Now, this is when, you know, I graduated high school. I was out of high school and everything, and she had a pen of goats, about 30 to 40 or so goats, and she would expect me to take care of them every single day. Bring them a bale of hay to stick in the pen, fill up their water trough, you know, do all that. And, you know, I didn't really think of it at first, but then I realized, you know what? Ever since I got out of high school, ever since I graduated high school, it seems like this is all I've been doing. Is just taking care of my sister's animals. My sister should be doing this, not me. And normally my mom would be like, just do it. I don't want to fight with with Elizabeth and everything. Because mom didn't want to fight with her either. My mom did not like fighting with Elizabeth either, but Elizabeth didn't give her a choice. But then, you know, in that case, my mom was like, yeah, you know what? I agree with you. This isn't right. You shouldn't be having to take care of her animals every single day. Now, obviously, when she's gone, she can't take care of them, obviously. But when she gets home, she's more than capable of taking care of them, and she chooses not to. She chooses to give it to me and she expects me to do it. You know, she expected that I was going to do it every single day for her. And I was like, well, if you think I'm going to do it every day for you, you got another thing coming. Alright? There's no way I'm going to do this for you every single damn day. It's just not going to happen. So, that's one of the reasons I kind of left my mom's place and came here to live with my aunt. Is because my sister became a stuck-up asshole and everything. And she now has to take care of her animals. But I think Elizabeth lost all respect for my mom. Pretty much. Lost every last bit of respect. I still have respect for my mom. I still respect my mom because I know she's my mother. She's the one who raised me. She's the one who made me who I am today, kind of thing, you know? But my sister just completely hates my mom, I think, because she in no way at all shows that she has any kind of respect for her. It seems like she has absolutely zero respect for my mom. And the reason I could tell is because one time I went back because I still wanted to grab some of my stuff from my mom's place when I decided to move out. And I still had stuff there I wanted to grab, obviously. So I went back, I stayed there for a few days to, get my stuff packed and get everything done because it was around Christmas time, Christmas time this year. It was around Christmas time last year, and last year. So I went to stay a few days so I could get my stuff, get it in her car, and then bring it back up here to live here with me for living up here and everything. But when I went down there, I saw that Elizabeth, it didn't matter what my mom said to her or anything, said, look, Elizabeth, your animals are going to die. You need to go take care of them. She would say, okay, and then go sit down and then just do nothing. She would sit there for like several minutes and do absolutely nothing. But my mom couldn't yell at her. You want to know why? Because she complained to my dad, and my dad said, you need to give her a break. You've been yelling at her too much. On and on and on and on and on. It's like, she's been yelling at her because she hasn't been taking care of her animals. But now my mom can't yell at my sister because if she does, she'll be in hot water with my dad, and she doesn't want to fight with my dad. So basically, she can't yell at Elizabeth to do anything at this point. It's like, for my sister is untouchable. So, untouchable, because if she yells at her, she'll have to answer to my dad. And it's like, that is completely unreasonable. And my dad used the excuse that you can't yell at her. If you keep yelling at her, you're gonna push her away just like you did our son. And it's like, she didn't push me away. I chose to leave. She didn't push me away. I chose to leave because I think it's a little bit better up here. I chose to leave because I think I have a better chance at finding a job up here than I do down there. Yeah, and plus, if I just stay there, I may never get a job for all I know, so it's better if I just come up here. But Dad doesn't know that. Dad thinks, oh, Mom pushed me away. But Dad thinks Mom pushed me away from there. It's like, no, nobody pushed me away. Nobody made me do this. I chose to. Nobody forced me to move out. I chose to move out. But my dad doesn't understand that, so, And there was actually another time, this is another example that my sister doesn't take care of her animals, because we had this horse named Destiny, but Destiny had a problem with her teeth. She had a real bad problem with her teeth and everything, and she couldn't chew. She couldn't chew because it hurt too much. She had some kind of serious infection or something in her mouth that couldn't allow her to chew. So we had to give her this special mix with medication in it so that, we had to give her this kind of mash thing that was soft enough for her to eat without having to chew, And my sister was supposed to be the one giving it to her, but my sister never wanted to make it, never wanted to give it to her, never wanted to do anything with it. And I was always the one that had to mix up the mash, take it out to Destiny, feed it to her, and sit there and make sure that she ate it all. And everything. And if she didn't eat it, I would have to make her eat it, kind of thing, Sit there, hold her there until she finally got the idea that she needed to eat it. But and I would always be the one to do that. And then my mom realized that no matter how much she told Elizabeth to do it, Elizabeth just wasn't going to, and she hadn't been taking care of her other horse either. Her other horse's name was, Freckles. He was a white horse, but he was covered in like teeny tiny little brown spots. That's why they called him Freckles. Is because he looked like he would sit there looking dumb. He wouldn't know what you wanted to do. He wouldn't know what you wanted him to do. And even when someone offered to, help Elizabeth train him, help Elizabeth make him to ride and everything. Well, not really break him to ride, but, and going solo without anybody leading him and somebody just riding on his back, then she still didn't want to do it. She thought, no, this is too much work and everything. And it's like, of course it's a lot of work, but you're the one that wants to do it. If you want to do it, you need to do the work. Nothing's ever going to get done if you don't do it, but do it. But she didn't. And anyways, she wasn't taking... Oh boy. She wasn't taking care of Freckles either. She wasn't giving him the hay she needed. She wasn't working with him. She wasn't doing anything she was supposed to with him. And my mom just decided one day, she told me and said, don't tell this to Elizabeth. Don't say anything to Elizabeth or her dad. But we're getting rid of the horses and we're sending them to a shelter where they'll be taken better care of and everything. And I said, okay. And I wasn't going to, argue with her because, as far as I was concerned, that meant, yay, I didn't have to take care of the horses anymore and everything. Because it was getting annoying having to take care of those horses every single day. And I kid you not, I would have to take care of them every single day because Elizabeth was not willing to. So, and it got really, really annoying. Honestly. It's just like, seriously? Come on, Elizabeth. The least you can do is help me out. And you're not even willing to do that. Really? But that's how she was. So on that Friday, my mom got rid of the horses and everything, and my sister didn't even know that they were gone until Thursday. Or not Thursday, but until Tuesday next week. Until Tuesday next week, she never even knew they were gone until she went out there to look for them because she wanted to put a blanket on Destiny and noticed they were gone. Because my mom told me not to say anything to Elizabeth because Elizabeth would get upset, and I said, okay, we'll just wait for her to... And also, she wanted to find out how long it would take Elizabeth to notice they were gone because she barely goes out there and does anything with them. So she wanted to see how long it would take her to notice. And when she noticed, that's when Mom would tell her. And it took her, I think, 4 days, that is. It took her until Tuesday of next week. We got rid of them on Friday. Took her until Tuesday next week to notice they were gone. That's like 5 days, I think, actually. 5 days to notice. That's how long it took her. Hooker. It's like, Hooker. Tells you how much she really cared about the animals. And when she figured out that they weren't there, that they weren't coming, and that she couldn't find them, and Mom told her that she'd gotten rid of them, she broke down into tears. But it's like, well, you haven't been doing anything with them. You haven't been the one taking care of them. I have. I take care of them every single day, and you do nothing with them. I'm the one forced to give Destiny the mash every day and give Freckles a bale of hay and make sure their water is topped off every single day. Hey. And Elizabeth sat there crying and everything. Elizabeth sat there crying and saying and begging and pleading Mom to bring them back, but my mom was not gonna agree. But my mom kept saying no. And when my dad came out to see what was going on, we told him that we got rid of the horses, and then he kind of got upset at first, but then we told him how it took her 5 days to notice they were even gone. And that's when, and even then he said, okay, that's not right. It should not have taken you that long to notice they were gone. You should have noticed it instantly if you were taking care of them. But because you weren't taking care of, but because you did notice, that means you weren't taking care of them. And at that point, he took our side of it, saying that if you can't take care of the animals, you don't deserve to have them. So, have them. And that's how my dad kind of was about it too. my dad, you know, he doesn't like, the only kind of animals he really likes is dogs. He only likes their dogs, but still, you know, although he doesn't like animals, he doesn't like any animals besides dogs, that doesn't mean he's willing to sit there and see them suffer. He's not willing to sit there and let them suffer or anything. If he can do something to stop them from suffering, he will. He's not heartless, he just doesn't like animals. Yeah, he's not heartless to the when it comes to animals, he just doesn't like them. But if one is in danger of dying, he will help try and save its life. So, he said nothing, even something that he really doesn't like, shouldn't be doomed to suffer, shouldn't be suffering and starve to death or whatever, you know? And that's what my sister was basically doing, starving them to death. She was basically starving her horses to death. Even if she wasn't, you know, doing it intentionally, she was still doing it, so... doing it. So... But yeah, ever since I came up here, I've kind of been wondering, I wonder how Elizabeth's doing with the animals. But when I went back down there to visit, and I saw how she was treating Mom, I was like, that is not how Mom deserves to be treated. Mom deserves to be treated much better than that. I mean, yeah, she was mean at times, but she raised us right. And this is the way you're treating her? You're acting like a complete and utter bitch to her. Of course, I didn't actually say that to her, obviously. I didn't have the guts to say it. Because my sister was always the fighting type. I never was the fighting type. I don't get involved in fights unless someone else starts them with me. If no one else starts a fight, with me, I don't start the fight. I don't start the fight. And I don't try to finish it either. Same. If anyone, you know, tries to start an argument with me or anything, and I get fumed up kind of thing, I'll walk away. I won't sit there and keep arguing or anything else. I'll just walk away. Hey, because I know that if I sit there and keep, you know, arguing with him and everything, I'm just going to get even more steamed up, and I'm just not going to be able to control my anger. So... at that point, I just kind of, you know, walk away, say, okay, I need to calm down, because getting irate isn't going to solve anything. Hang with it. Just walk away, calm down, and just leave it be. So, that's what I do. I will never start a fight, and I will never, ever finish a fight. I will walk away from it. Kind of went on a rant there for a little bit, guys, but you know what? It kind of feels good to talk about that, even if I'm not talking directly to you, you know, if I'm not talking to you like face to face or anything, it still feels good to get that off my shoulders. So I'm still kind of happy I did it. That actually feels good talking to you guys. If you guys, you know, listen to it, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Honestly, it feels good to talk about that kind of thing. Feels good to get that burden off my shoulders and everything like that, so... well, anyways, back to what I'm doing here. Okay, so I kind of missed a couple of races because I was ranting and raving on, but I'm pretty sure you guys saw, you know, what I did, when I was doing it, stuff like that. But this race here I'm doing, there's actually a lot of big jumps that you can get some pretty good RP on and everything like that. But it's a pretty long race too, so just set it to 2 laps, honestly, and you shouldn't have to, you know, just set it to 2 laps. So alright, so feels good to talk about that, guys. Alright, anyways, I know nobody's watching currently, obviously, but, you know, for those of you who will be watching this as a video after the live stream, I appreciate you if you listen to this and everything like that. I really do. It's just, it feels good to talk about it, even if I'm not talking face to face with someone. It still feels good to get it off my shoulders. Like that job. Continue. Now what's this next one? I believe, is this next one the muscle car? No, I don't think it is, actually. Oh wait, I don't think I think I know this next one. Ooh. Oh, no, never mind. I was like, oh no, I don't like this one. Oh no. I was like, no, this isn't the one I'm thinking of. That, I think, comes after this one, I believe. Not sure. I think it comes after this, but it's a motorcycle race, and I despise it. But I do it for the money, not for the pleasure, you know. This one's not so bad. I mean, yeah, it's not the greatest out of all the races, obviously, but it's not as bad as that one race I'm gonna be talking about. It's a motorcycle race, and it's kind of half off-road, half on-road kind of thing. And even though there's a lot of places where you can do stunts, you're constantly going past the checkpoints or wrecking out and doing stuff that, you know, makes it not worth doing the stunts, because you're constantly wrecking out and doing all sorts of other stuff. So I think it's just not worth it to try stunts on any of the jumps except for one. And you can't even really pull wheelies because there's not really any very long straightaways, so you can't really pull any wheelies on it either, and it's really annoying. If it was a car race, I might forgive it, you know, but because it's a motorcycle race, I despise it. I can't handle it. It's just annoying beyond belief. So now right here on this loop-de-loop, you can kind of, if you really want to, you can kind of go off the right side of it there when you're coming up on it and kind of do like a flip onto the next road, but it's a little it's pretty tricky, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. Now this part, you want to head for that ramp because that spot right there dips down pretty low in and the water can actually come up over it and swamp your car. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to swamp your car, so just hit the ramp on that side of it. Now, I'm not sure if you can do this with any car, but this is what I do in here. I kind of come up here a little bit, hold the handbrake, and, well, I try to spin around, but it doesn't always work. But Then this next part, if you have enough speed on this part, you can do a barrel roll here, but you gotta make sure you have enough speed to go up the ramp to do it. So you gotta make sure when you come off the ramp, you have enough speed to go high enough in the air. So you gotta have some speed so you can go into the air high enough to do it. And around this corner, you're probably gonna have to use your brakes a bit to make sure you don't fly off into the water. Oh, wow. Even with the few times I mess up there, I still got a clean lap. Clean lap must mean, I'm not entirely certain that that's what clean lap means, but I'm fairly sure that that's what it means, because I get clean laps whenever I manage to complete a lap without having to reset my vehicle. Any other time, like if I have to reset my vehicle or anything like that, then I do it. I can crash, I can stop, I can do other things, but so long as I don't have to reset my vehicle, I can still get a clean lap, you know? I'm guessing that means you go through the lap without messing up too badly, but I'm not entirely certain on that, so don't quote me. Okay, give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna be... frick, hang on. I gotta kinda... Oh, come on. You fucking piece of shit. There. Trying to put the footstool in on my freaking chair, and it refused to go in. It doesn't like it'll come out, nope. And I just freaking pulled it back out again. Are you serious? I'm a fucking idiot. Wait. Did I actually put it back in? Okay, that time I did. But I freaking leaned back and pulled it out again like a freaking idiot. Okay, that's gonna add some time because I had to stop and do that. So. Okay, on this little ramp here, you can do a barrel roll. You could try and do a flat spin if you wanted, but I don't try and do a flat spin because typically if I try and do it in there, I can't complete it. And for some reason, when you go around the loop-de-loops like that, you actually build up momentum as you go around them, so you don't lose momentum, you build it up. And like I said here, this little part, you want to hit this ramp, so you jump over that low spot in the water. Jump over that spot that dips low in the water. There are some spots on this track that can get the water on them if the waves go high enough. Like not a part like this, but that part that I was on earlier, that low part right down there, that low part can actually, you know, the water can sometimes come up high enough that it'll go up onto the track and swamp your car, so you gotta be careful of that. And if you do manage to complete the barrel roll there, like I do, then it's it's gonna be kind of close. It's gonna be kind of close when you do it because you gotta like hold that stick to the left as if your life depended on it, kind of thing. You gotta jam it to the left pretty hard to actually complete the loop in time. Complete the barrel roll in time. Now, a little bit of a tip, if you start a barrel roll and kind of land on it, and kind of like, land on your roof. If you start a barrel roll but you land on your roof, if you keep holding the stick the same direction as that you were doing the barrel roll or whatever, you can still complete the roll and still get the RP for it. Just keep holding it the same way that you were doing the barrel roll, and then it'll still give you the RP for it. It's when you go back the opposite direction that it doesn't count it. So if you do land on your roof without blowing up, just keep holding the stick the same direction that you were flipping, and then you can, still get the RP for it. So. Alright. Let's do this. Whoa. And that jump I just went over, you can do 2 flat spins there. And like I said earlier, if you hold the handbrake button while you're trying to do the turn, oh, well, I missed my opportunity there to do a barrel roll, but oh well. Not that big of a deal. I ain't too worried about it. But anyways, if you hold the handbrake button while you're, moving the stick to do a barrel roll, you can do a flat spin instead, and flat spins are worth more RP, at least, if you're not falling from a really high height. If you're falling from an extremely high height, then the barrel rolls are the better bet, because you can only get about 200 RP max for doing flat spins, but you can get a lot more, but you can get an infinite amount from doing barrel rolls, although a flat spin is worth more than a barrel roll, typically. So, if you can't do very many barrel rolls, if you can do like 1 barrel roll or 1 flat spin, one flat spin is typically more worth it. So, if they brought back the double money in RP for these stunt races, I would so play them a whole lot more. I would play them a hell of a lot more often, simply because then I could get a lot more money and it would be a lot more worth it, Or if they made double money RP for that one mission that I'm talking about. Whatchamacallit? Checkout Time. That's the mission it's called. It's a Martin mission. And it's actually pretty simple and everything. All you gotta do for the mission is to go to this witness, which it spawns you near her and everything. Kill her, take a picture of her with your phone, lose the cops, and then report to Martin. That's all you gotta do. And it's easy as hell. Okay, so this next race here, I think is the one that I hate. The one that I hate the most out of all of them. I think it's the one I hate. I think this next one is the one I hate the most out of all of them. It's that motorcycle race that I was talking about. It's supposed to be off-road, I think. Right? Yep. This is the one. 3 laps, even though I really don't want to. I just want the money from it. I don't care about the race itself. I just want the money. I could care less about anything else. I want the money in the RP, and that's it. I'm thinking about doing another version of this playlist, but taking out this race and just moving on down the list. Instead of doing this race in here, take this race out and do another race at the end. I may do that, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out, because this race I really do hate. Because, see, there's a ramp right here, looks like you can do a stunt, but you can't. And it's easy to miss the ramp, and it's easy to miss this freaking road right here. Like that. It's easy to miss it. You gotta go off the ramp at just the right angle if you want to have a chance at landing on this. And then right here, you got an off-road terrain, you got a narrow bridge you gotta go on, and then you gotta kind of come this way, jump off this, can't do a stunt on it because you're not going fast enough, and sharp left, come through here, hit this speed boost. Now this ramp you can do a backflip on. You can't do a front flip on it. You can't do a backflip, but you'll go past the checkpoint if you do. You go way past it. Far enough past it that it'll count as if you counted it. Far enough past it that it'll count that you missed it. And then this one you could probably do a backflip on, but you'll miss the checkpoint once again and go far enough that it won't count it. And it's so easy to get thrown off the course, and I literally mean thrown. Now, it wants you to go up that ramp, but you don't have to. Instead, what you can do, just come down this way and come down this road here. If you don't want to hit that ramp, you don't have to. I don't like hitting the ramp because I wind up going way past the gate on the other side of that guardrail there, and then, I can't do anything. And right there, I don't know why that does that, but sometimes as you're going up that part, it'll launch you into the air, and I don't know why. Now this part's kind of tricky. You gotta jump up and land on these train cars, otherwise you're gonna hit these speed bumps, which are gonna slow you down, like that. And it's not that, you know, the bumps will slow you down. They're actually like a power-up. They're actually like, they're kind of like the speed boost, but they work in reverse. Instead of speeding you up, they slow you down a lot. So, and you gotta make sure you land on those train cars, or you're gonna hit those speed bumps and you're gonna be severely slowed down. So, and there's a lot of tight corridors and everything on here that it's easy to get knocked off your bike on this one. So you gotta be careful. This is really the only ramp that you can do a stunt on. I'm gonna say, well, that one and this next one here. I'm gonna say, you can do a stunt on this one here if you have the right bike for it. You can do a backflip on it if you really, really want to, but see what I mean? It's extremely easy to miss this road, to miss this track. It's extremely easy to miss it. Let's say, unless you come off the ramp at just the right angle, you can miss it really easily. And it's frustrating because you're constantly having to double back to try and hit the ramp that you should have been able to hit on your first try. And it's really easy to get flung off the track in this one. And there's not a lot of places you can do stunts either. There's only those two that I showed you that you can really do stunts on without suffering, without having consequences. You got this way. Like I said, you can go off that ramp and try and do a stunt if you want, but I don't do it, because what I do, I wind up ending up on the other side of these rails right there. Those rails that I just looked at, I wind up on the other side of them, and I have to turn around and go back. Sometimes just back up because I'm in a tight spot and I can't actually turn around. I can only back up. Okay, that time I didn't get launched into the air, so... But I still don't like this race. I only do it for the money. NERP, that's it. If anyone tried to get me to do this race for any other reason, I wouldn't do it. Okay, that time I managed to avoid those speed bumps that slow me down. Like, see the freaking world record for this race? 29 seconds. You know that someone hacked that. Either someone hacked it or someone cheated on it or in some way. You know? Who was that did that? It's Jets. Say, It's Jets is the one that managed to get that world record time. You know he must have cheated on that. There's no way you could complete that race, this race that fast. No way in hell that you could ever complete this race that fast. Okay, kinda come off this ramp going to the right, so that way I don't fly off it. There we go. Whoa. Alright, so thankfully this is the last lap, so okay, come down here because I don't want to hit that ramp. I don't care about hitting that ramp because I always wind up on the other side of those guardrails, so I don't want that. There, kind of did a wheelie coming up that so that I can avoid going airborne. See, even on the edge of those things, even if you don't actually touch those things, you still get slowed down by them. Because you just have to be in the you just have to be in proximity to them, and you still get slowed down. And there's no way to go around them either. If you go down there, you're screwed. Because you get slowed way down. And there's no way to overcome the power of those kind of. There's no way to like go around them or overcome them or anything like that. So, I mean, there are some races where they're, you know, necessary, but there are some other races where they're not necessary. They're just there to kind of make your life miserable. Ugh. I was trying to avoid going through the finish line just yet, because I didn't want to finish it. It looked like I was really gonna cross it, but thankfully I didn't. I need to make sure this race goes for 8 minutes. There we go. My character was still doing a wheelie. And I ranked up again. Nice. 95. Like and continue. I don't know. Is this next one the muscle car race? I don't know for sure. I think it might be. Is it? Oh, no, it's not. I was like, oh yeah, it is. And I was like, nope, no, it's not. It's the, it's another supercar race. You think this one you gotta set for 4. At least I think you do. Don't quote me on that, because I'm not entirely familiar with this one. I don't really pay attention to this one that much. The beginning and end ones, the ones close to the beginning and the end I do, but the ones in the middle, not really. Alright, so I think you can complete a lap in this one in like under 2 minutes or something. You see that world record time? 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, 0 minutes, 0.00 seconds kind of thing. You know that's hacking. Just saying. And it wasn't the developers either. The developers wouldn't put a time like that on it. They'd want it actually to be a world record, so that they want it to be a world record you could beat. But you can't beat that world record, because that world record basically means that they finished the race as fast as they started it. Oh crap, I forgot you could do a stunt there. I was kind of freaking busy thinking about that world record thing. I forgot you could do a stunt right there. You could do flat spins. Oh well. There's only 2 jumps on this race that you can do stunts on. And because it's a supercar race, you can't pull wheelies either. If it were a bike race, you could probably pull wheelies on some of these parts. Like, say, this part right here, this long straightaway, you could pull a wheelie here and get away with it. But it's not a motorcycle race, it's a supercar race, so you can't do that. Do that here. Even this next jump here, you can't do a stunt on because you're not in the air long enough. You gotta do this. Gotta come up and around. And you gotta use your brake going around that corner, or you're gonna smack into that wall on the other side. Now I believe, yeah, this jump right here, you can do a barrel roll on, but you gotta time it just right. You gotta make sure you start doing it right as you leave the ramp, basically. See, 2 minutes 4 seconds is how long it took me to complete that lap. The laps on this one aren't very long, so just because of how fast you go the entire time. But this race, I think you can go all the way through it. You can pretty much go all the way through it without really letting your finger off the gas. Without ever letting off the gas, really. I'll say, if you wanted to, you could go through pretty much this entire race without ever taking your finger off the gas. Yes. Where's the X button? Give her some gas. Give her some gas. Give her a little more gas. Give her some gas. Okay. Give a little more gas. Okay. Bo, hold up. Okay. No, Mo, no. Sorry, cuz. You do the same thing to me. Oh, damn it. In case you guys are wondering what I'm like talking about, what I'm like muttering to myself, I'm repeating a part of the Dukes of Hazzard movie in my head. The Dukes of Hazzard rated R movie, basically, where where they're trying to stop Boss Hogg from strip mining Hazzard County and everything. Hogg's office on a construction site and everything, and it gets wedged on a telephone, and it gets wedged on a light pole. So they're trying to get it unstuck, and you know, Luke is telling Bo, give us some gas. Okay. Bo, give a little more gas. Okay. And then he says, hey, Bo, hold up. But apparently Bo misunderstands him and thinks he says, pull up. Bo thinks he says, Bo, pull up. And is like, okay. And then he's like, oh, no, Bo, no. Okay. Because Bo thinks he said, go, Bo, go. Not no, Bo, no. Oh. Oh. And he's, and pulls it free, but then Luke's hanging onto the safe back there, hooked to the tow truck hanging on for dear life. It's like, Bo, damn it. He's just like hanging onto that safe for dear life. You could tell. He was thinking, okay, if I let go of this safe, I'm dead. Hold on with everything I've got to hold on with everything I've got, basically. So, yeah. Yeah, that was like one of my favorite movies, kind of thing. It's not my most favorite movie, but it is one of my favorites. I still like the Dukes of Hazzard series better, though. So, you just imagine that. Frickin' you're trying to steal a safe from somebody, it's hooked to the back of a tow truck, it gets stuck on a telephone pole, you tell him, no, don't go, no, 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 whatever, no, you know, whatever the other guy's name is. And he says, okay, thinking you mean go Boca. Go, whatever, go, not no, whatever, no, you know. And then he just, like, takes off with you hanging onto the safe for dear life. And you're telling him, stop, stop, and he's not stopping. He just keeps going. It's like, can you imagine that? That would be like, I would like be scared shitless. I would be like, don't let go. If you let go, you know it'll be the last time you let go of anything. Of course, there was another part where they're getting, you know, like chased through Atlanta by Atlanta PD and everything because they just escaped from it. I don't know why they got arrested in the first place. Maybe for breaking their probation or something. I don't know. I don't think they have probation in that movie. I don't know. EV, though. I'm not entirely certain why they got arrested, but they did. And they break out of the back of the cop car because they're getting transferred to the Georgia work farm. And as they're on their way there, these guys come with the General Lee and break them out. The two girls that they had with them come and break them out using the General Lee, and they're being chased through Atlanta by the Atlanta police. And as they're being chased, apparently Katie Johnson, one of the girls that are riding with them, reveals that she was hanging out with Luke even though Bo had a crush on her, kind of thing. And Bo never knew that she and Luke were, you know, Bo never knew that she and Luke were together, I guess. So at that point, when he finds out, he gets really pissed and just keeps driving, you know. But he ain't driving like a normal person. He's driving really good, like a stunt driver, pretty much. Hush. I'm gonna do this one. I like this one. I like my custom Duke of Death. As you can see, I have another just regular Dukes, but it's like, you know, it's dressed up like the General Lee, because that's like my favorite car. This one, though, it's like the General Lee on steroids, almost. It looks pretty much like the General Lee, but it's got armor plating, it's really tough, it's fast, it's faster, more agile, it's got a light rack on top, and it's really strong. I mean, not in the way that it can take a lot of punishment. It can do that too, but I mean strong as in it can just shove other cars out of the way. Pretty much. There's only one jump on this map. There's only one place that you can do a stunt on this map, and that's right there where I just showed you, and you can only do a barrel roll. You don't have time for a flat spin, unfortunately, but I still like this race. It's one of my favorites, just because of how much fun you can have doing muscle car races and everything. Muscle cars are just fun to drive around, I think. Yeah. I even got the custom General Lee horn. Oh boy. Oh jeez. See how quickly I got through that lap? Now you know why I set it to 4 laps instead of just 3. Because this one you can get through a lap pretty fast on this. So alright, here we go. Another cool thing about this one, unlike some of the cars and everything that have, you know, light racks on top, one of the cool features about this car's light racks is that, I don't know if you can see it, but this car's light rack actually lights up. This car's light rack actually lights up. It acts as like the high beams and everything for this car. So even if your normal headlights go out, you still have your light rack on top to act as a source of light for you. You know, because that's kind of annoying when you're driving around and then you get your headlights punched out or something like that, and say you get your headlights, like, you know, destroyed or something like that, and you have no way to see at night or whatever. The light rack on top can fix that problem. You say you still have a way to see at that point. The light rack on top basically acts as the high beams for your car's lights. Of course, one thing I hate about it is if you need them on in the daytime for some reason, they'll automatically turn off after a certain amount of time, and it's annoying. Because, like, you're trying to keep them on so you can see, and they just keep turning off. You know? Oh, I got a new personal best lap time. I'm on this. Didn't even really notice. I was too busy actually doing the race. Sorry if I'm not saying a lot now, guys. I'm just... Before, I had a lot to talk about. Now, I don't really have much to talk about at all. So... I have... Just kidding. It's just like... Oh, I don't really have... You say... You ever seen somebody like that? You know... Where they say, oh, I don't really have a lot to talk about, and then all of a sudden they just start blabbering on about something. It's like you can't get them to shut up, almost. You know? It's like, no offense, but I really don't care. I really, really, really don't care. They just start blabbering on about something, and it doesn't matter how much you try to tell them you don't want to listen to it, they keep blabbering on about it. Especially considering they just said that they don't really have a lot to talk about, kind of thing, you know? And I just kind of messed that jump up, so I'm going to really quickly back up and go at it again. Still managed to do it, so that's cool. Still got a long ways to go, though, before I'm done with all of these races. It'll take you probably close to like 2 hours or so. It'll take you like over 2 hours to do this, probably. I'm pretty close to 2 hours, like freaking 15 seconds away from being 2 hours long. Now that ramp right there that it just went up would probably be big enough to do a stunt if it wasn't for the fact that when you go around the corner right before it, you lose a lot of speed, so you don't have enough speed to get up it. I mean, if you had like a rocket, if you had like the rocket Voltic or the Vigilante, where you could use a rocket boost to get up it, then a bit, then, you know, you would probably be able to do a stunt right there, but because you don't have that, you can't do a stunt there. Yeah, there was a time when these normal stunt races, not like, you know, the special ones with the special cars or anything, but the normal stunt races were actually, double money in RP, like I said earlier, so... And that's what inspired me to, you know, make this playlist here, was because as they were double money in RP and I wanted to take advantage of that. Took a little drink of water there. Oh yeah, I remember this one. This one's a point-to-point race for supercars. And typically you can complete it, I'd say, in like 4 minutes or something. Yeah, I think 4 minutes, but maybe 5 or 6. But, you know, typically you can't make 8 minutes just by doing this race normally. So I'm going to show you how to make it to 8 minutes with this race. And also, this is the race I was talking about way in the beginning, where there's a whole bunch of bowling pins in one spot to knock down, and you get 20 RP for each one you knock down. So, and you know, every little bit helps. So if you're doing this race solo, it pays to knock down all those bowling pins, and I'll show you where they are in this race. And trust me, you're gonna want to knock down all of them. That is, if you want on RP for them. If you don't care about that, then, you know, if you don't care about that, then you don't have to. But if you want RP and you want to kind of rank up a bit faster, that's the way to do it. Let's say that's what you want to do. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, God. Jeez, that's twice I nearly went off the track. That was an awesome save. Those were awesome saves, though. There was one time when I actually came off the track here, and I went down and I landed on the highway beneath this track, but, you know, apparently you can still hit the checkpoints if you're just underneath them. You can still hit them, so I was able to hit the checkpoints by going directly underneath them and just traveling along the highway without having to reset. Because resetting would have taken a lot longer to do it, so... And I believe this part is the part where you go up and you can knock down all the bowling pins and everything. You can do a stunt here. Yep, right here, this part. Alright guys, now take a look at this. Let's say, hit these pins. Bang, 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 bang. 20 RP for each and every pin you knock down. But you can't hit them slowly. You gotta hit them at kind of a faster speed, you know, or it won't count them. Something like that speed that I was just at will work. Alright. Bang. 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 voila, all the pins are knocked down. 20 RP for each and every bowling pin you knock down there, so trust me, worth it. Now, you can do a barrel roll right here. Just gotta be careful when you land, because you're gonna land right on some speed boosts. And this next part here, it's here after you come out of this tube. Oh jeez, what was that? That usually does not happen. The game must have glitched out there, but you come up. Let's see, you keep going up and up and up and up, and then go right here. Kind of level your car out with this part down here, and then just do flat spins. But don't, go really crazy with them, because you'll start losing control of your car otherwise. Besides, you won't get an extreme amount of RP or anything, but okay, now this next part right down here, this is the checkpoint right before the finish line. And then you come up here, hit these two speed boosts, go through that tunnel and hit that one, and then do 1, 2, 3 flat spins, and just, hold the handbrake but release the stick, and then respawn. And you can milk this one for some RP too. Keep doing it until either A, you run out of time, or B, you can't get any more RP from it, basically, so. Alrighty. Alright. Like I said, just do this, and, just keep doing flat spins on this part. Just make sure you don't hit the finish line accidentally. Keep doing it until you can't get any more RP from this race, basically. Either until you can't get any more RP, or until you run out of time. So, I'm going to keep doing this until it either A, stops giving me RP for it, or B, until I run out of time. So, I got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So, looks like I'm probably going to run out of time before it starts giving me RP. I only got about 40 seconds left now. Alright, now that it's past 8 minutes, let's cross that finish line. Bingo. And the cool part about this is that by doing these all in a playlist, rather than, you know, playing them one right after the other or whatever, without them being in a playlist, is by playing them in a playlist, you get a bit of bonus RP at the end. You get about 1600 RP for doing all 16 jobs, you know? I think you get at a certain amount of RP based on, you know, how many jobs there are on the playlist and how many jobs there are in the playlist, kind of thing. Okay, I think this one takes long enough. Alright, so I'm trying to think, do you do 2 laps or 3 on this one? I think you do. Well, I think we'll just do 2, honestly. If it winds up not being enough, then we can just wait, you know? I don't want to take too long on this race, so we'll just do 2 laps on it. And this is a sports car race, obviously. As you can see, I'm driving my Banshee rather than my Turismo R or my, I'm driving my Banshee rather than my Turismo R or my Batty 801 or my, Duke of Death. Now, you don't have to use the car I'm using here. You can use one of the base cars, but I use my car because it's got more upgrades on it. Two, three. Now you can do a barrel roll right here if you go up along that side like I do. But you can only do one, and you can't do a flat spin there, so I wouldn't attempt it. And you can do, I think, probably 1 3/4 of a flat spin right there, maybe 2 full flat spins. Now see, these are the speed bumps that I'm talking about. They force you to slow down, they don't give you a choice. But for a pace like that, they're necessary. The reason why is because if you go full speed off that, you're gonna go flying way out past the track and actually probably hit that tube in front of you, like that tube right there. You would hit that tube, move over to my left right there. You'd hit that one and then it would stop you and probably damage your car a lot. So this one I believe you can do 1, 2, I'm gonna say 2 3/4 order flat spins. Still, that's enough for 200 RP. So on this part right here, they put the speed bumps because you go out over the edge like this, but you can't go flying out past it because you'll go way, but you can't go out flying there because you'll go way past the ramp at the bottom, and you need to go inside this tube for the next checkpoint, so they put that one there for a reason. And I kind of like to ride up on the sides of the tunnels to get some more momentum, you know. But you can do 1, 2, 3 full flat spins right here for 200 RP. So now this next one, because you probably won't have enough speed, you can't really do any stunts right here without suffering consequences of it. So looks like I maybe should have done 3 laps, so I could actually total it up to be 8 minutes without having to wait. But I only did 2 because I wasn't sure. So this is my last lap, right here. One, 2, 3. I don't know if you guys are, you know, seeing these notifications on my screen about people joining parties and inviting me to parties and stuff like that, but if you do, sorry about that. Or sorry if it's doing some kind of black bar thing where it's blocking your view, because I'm getting notifications about people, you know, inviting me and stuff. People inviting me to parties, trying to invite me to different games, and it's kind of annoying. I guess they don't know I'm streaming. They probably can't tell that I'm streaming. As far as they're concerned, me playing normally is no different. Me streaming is apparently, according to them, me streaming is no different from me, you know, playing normally. So one, two, oh. Well, I guess 2.5 is good enough. 2.5 is good enough for 200 RP, I guess. Oh god, ow. Oh, yep, didn't make it. I didn't make that one. That kind of sucks. I hit the edge, so I didn't, like, you know, quite make it. Yeah. And you can't really do a stunt coming off that ramp either. You can't do a stunt on it. Doesn't matter if you try and pull a barrel roll or a flat spin or whatever. You can't do it. It won't let... You don't get enough airtime to do it. Or enough room, or even if you did get enough airtime, you don't have enough room in the air to do it. You don't come very far, you're not very far off the ground when it comes to that tube, so... Yep, 6 minutes, so I gotta wait about 2 minutes for this. So, I'm gonna do this. Whee! Kind of nice to drive the streets without any traffic on them. Not constantly having to dodge and weave in and out of traffic kind of thing, you know? So it's kind of nice to be able to just drive through like this without having to worry about traffic or stoplights or anything like that. was trying to maybe see if I could get back up there without respawning, but the game isn't going to cooperate, so... I probably should have set that to 3 laps, but... I didn't realize that I would complete the race that fast, so... I get 1,735 RP now for every race I complete, or for every time I complete one of these races, so... Sorry about that, guys. That was my phone going off. Don't know if you heard that, but for all I know, you may have. Oops. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. This one isn't bad, but there's no places you can do stunts on it. Literally no places you can do stunts on it whatsoever. There's no jumps high enough. The main reason this is even a stunt race is because there's a lot of places where your car can get swamped out. And it's not for supercars, it's for sports cars. And I'll show you just what I mean here in a second, once this race starts. Good news is this is the second to last race, so we're almost done. Pretty close. Now what I mean here is that, basically. The water here is low enough that on certain parts they make the track dip down into low parts. Like this one right here. Like this part, where the water can actually come up and swap up your car if you're not careful. So you gotta hit those ramps to jump over those parts. And even simple parts like this part that I'm on, the water can still come up on these and still swamp your car out if you're not careful. And there's a couple of these tubes right here where your car can get swamped out too. So what you want to do, kind of come onto the right side of this tube and stick to the right side. Stick to the right side right up until here. Then kind of come down to the center, straighten out, and then make sure you're aimed to the right so you can hit that jump. And then on this tube right here, come up on the left side, come back down, and then come back down on that side so you can avoid hitting the water. On this part, there are 2 ramps up here. Doesn't matter which one you take. Just take. The left one takes you up higher, right one takes you down lower. This is like the biggest ramp here, and you can't do a stunt on it because you don't get enough air time. Say, I tried it several times, and I only managed to complete a stunt on it one time, and that was because of pure luck, and I managed to get my wheels down just at the right moment. Any other time, I screwed. Any other time, I couldn't do it because my wheels would not come down fast enough, so... And the reason why this is, like, you know, considered a stunt race, you got a lot of jumps and a lot of places that your car can get swamped and everything, so you got to be careful. It is a cool race, though. I think it was a cool concept creating this race, because you got a lot of low spots that you got to try and avoid, but yet you still got to kind of try and win the race. That is if you're, playing competitively. Whoops. I turned a little too sharp there. If you're playing, you know, competitively against other people, then yeah, this would be kind of a good race to do it on, because not only are you competing, but you gotta worry, not only do you have to worry about winning, but you gotta worry about your environment as well. You gotta worry about not swamping out your car and doing stuff like that. I mean, if you know, set this as a non-contact race, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but just a normal race, yeah, you could screw people over simply by shoving them away from the ramp when the tide is rising on a certain part of the track, you know? When the water is up high enough on a certain part of the track. If you just shove them away from the ramp to jump over it, you've basically screwed them, because at that point they swamp their car out and they can't go as fast. So I'm gonna do this just to demonstrate that you can't do a barrel roll right here. See, you can't you can't do a full barrel roll. Only reason I got the RP for it there was because I flipped over like I did on that part. So you cannot do a barrel roll there. I tried it several times. It's just not it's nearly impossible to do it there. And that's the biggest ramp out of all of the ramps on here. So if you can't do it there, then you can't do it anywhere. So I'm at 4 minutes now, so, and then I do about like maybe 2 minutes per lap, so that means that, I'm probably gonna come pretty close. And like I said, even regular parts of the track can still kind of get swamped. That part right there, I don't really think it sees that much water very often, but at least not when you're coming around on it. It doesn't seem to get very much water, but on a part like say this tube right here, this tube sees water pretty much all the time. So you gotta be careful not to go down into the center of it and swamp your car. You've gotta ride up along the side on that one. And this one, you see water on that part a lot more often. And then this part, you can see water pretty much all the time on that one too. So there's just a lot of parts that you gotta watch out for and make sure that you don't go down low enough that the water can swamp your car out. Because that's happened to me a couple times when I was doing this race solo. I thought, oh, the water can't swamp me out, I'm fine, and then I wind up getting swamped out by the water anyways, even though I think, oh no, that can't happen, because I'm being a freaking idiot. Why the hell am I spinning in circles? Yeah, I guess even the ramps can kind of get drenched in water, so... But the good news is, there are guardrails up along most of this, so you're not as likely to just, fly out into the middle of the water or whatever, if you lose control. Oh shit. I am just lucky that there was no water on the track at that point. Because I missed the ramp entirely. was the second to last race, so one more race to do, and it's a supercar race. So there's like, I think maybe there's like 2 or 3, maybe 4 spots you can do stunts. Or actually, wait. There's 3 spots. 3 spots that you can actually do stunts on to get RP. So, and they're actually towards the end of the race and everything. It's not a point-to-point race. It's a lap race, but still, you know. I say they're towards the end when you're supposed to reach the finish line. So, but you'll get 3 chances. But you get 3 chances to do them because you have to set this one for 3 laps. You will get a total of 9 minutes, I believe, because each lap takes like takes close to 3 minutes to complete. So. And then I'll show you like how much money and stuff I get after this race is complete. How much money I got. And you guys already see my RP. I started at rank, I believe, 93. And now I'm ranked 95. Halfway through rank 95. Almost 96. Now this one you kind of want to stick to the side right here. And then once you get to here, kind of come up along this side. Oh, don't go as far up as I did. I didn't mean to do that, but don't go as far up as I did, but make sure you can slink through that gap right there so you can hit it. And then on this one, come up along the left side here and stick to it like this. So when you come out, you just stick to this wall here. There's going to be a lot of twists and curves right here, so kind of slow down right here to go around these. And then this ramp right here is one of the spots where you can do the stunts. You can do a few flat spins right there. You can do a couple splat. You can do about 1 3/4 order flat spins right there. And then you got about 3 loops like this. You got 3 loops like this that come up and go to these parts here. 3 of these parts right here. So you can, you know, steer yourself while you're on the loops. So don't think that you got to stay going one direction the whole time. You can alter your direction on the loops if you need to. Okay, that's the 3rd one. Once you pass through that one, you come around here and then turn here, and then right here you hit 1, 2, 3 speed boosts, and you can do about 1, 2, 3 flat spins right here, 4, about 3 and 3/4 flat spins right there. Hit another 1, 2, 3 speed boosts right there, and do another 1, 2 and 3/4 flat spins right there for 200 RP. So you can get about 475 to 500 RP every lap, basically. And this part is a little tricky. So, well, not tricky, but kind of cool. You actually have to kind of go up along the side here and go along the roof. So when you come around, you're actually on the bottom and not, you know, sticking to the roof or whatever. And then you just come, like, you know, blazing through the finish line right there as you're doing it, because when you're going downhill, you go a lot faster than when you're going uphill. You build up momentum going downhill a lot faster. So see, about 3 minutes, took me about 3 minutes to complete that 1 lap, so it's going to be about 9 minutes by the time we get this race finished. So come right about there like that, and you can steer on that little part right there that I just did. You can steer there if you need to. Like if your car's starting to veer left or right on that, you can steer the other way. Same with right here on those parts. You can steer right there if you need to. Don't think, you know, you gotta leave it alone or you're gonna mess it up. You can steer it, just don't try and steer it too much, or you probably will screw it up. So so if you do kind of a handbrake thing coming off that ramp there, then you can, you know, you can kind of do like a full 2. You can do like 2 1/4 or something and get the 100 RP instead of the 75 for that flat spin, but still, it's about like 500 bonus RP per lap kind of thing. And for here, for these corners, you don't really need to let off the gas, just steer around them. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Bingo. Alright, so this is the final lap here, so once this lap is over, I'll go ahead and show you guys how much money I made from that, just to show you why I do this, because it doesn't keep me doing the same thing all the time, and I can earn a good amount of money from it, money from doing it this way, so... Alright, so... Bingo! Last race, so... Alright, so like that. Continue. And then it's a bit more beneficial, because if you do it in a playlist, depending on how many jobs there are on the playlist, you get some bonus RP. Because I had 16 jobs in there, it gave me 1600 RP. So I get some bonus RP from it. Because I did it in a playlist rather than just doing each one by itself. So once we session here, wow, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. What time is it? Oh, 9:33. Yeah, after I